Software keeps getting faster to build and slower to run. We've traded optimization for convenience, and the trade is finally catching up to us. Denis Stetskov calls it the Great Software Quality Collapse. Let's talk about whether he's right. Denis's article paints a bleak picture of modern software, one where resource leaks, performance regressions, and careless abstractions have become completely normalized. He lists examples that almost sound unbelievable. Apple's calculator app leaking 32 gigabytes of RAM. Chrome consuming dozens of gigabytes for just a handful of tabs. Spotify's desktop app on macOS reaching 70 gigabytes or more. It's tempting to see these as isolated anecdotes, but they reflect something real. As developers and as users, we've stopped treating efficiency as a priority. Memory is cheap, bandwidth is abundant, and hardware keeps getting faster, so we tell ourselves it doesn't matter. But it does. When was the last time your team ran performance tests as part of regular CI? When did optimization become something we might get to later? Years ago, low-level bugs often ended with a blue screen or a crash. Today, they just drain resources quietly in the background until we're forced to kill the app and move on. Denis argues that this trend, the obsession with speed and features over quality, is pushing us toward collapse. Maybe he overstates how imminent that collapse really is. Software won't suddenly crumble overnight, but the erosion of discipline he describes, that part feels very real. Over the past years, we've built layer upon layer of abstraction, each one promising convenience, and each one hiding a little more of what's actually happening underneath. React, Electron, Docker, Kubernetes. They make development easier, but every layer adds cost. Sometimes the simplest fix isn't to optimize, it's to simplify. To step back and ask, do we really need this extra layer? The article also shows a sharp decline in software quality after 2018. A dramatic curve that oversimplifies reality. Cultural and technical shifts don't happen overnight. Still, the underlying message is hard to ignore. Over time, craftsmanship has quietly been replaced by velocity. Another important point is the decline of junior developers. When companies replace entry-level engineers with AI tools, they're cutting off the very foundation of the profession. Senior engineers don't appear out of nowhere. They grow from people who once broke things, fixed them, and learned the hard way why certain practices exist. AI can generate code, but it can't learn from failure. In the end, Denis calls for a return to fundamentals. Ship slower, but ship working. Measure real performance, not just feature count. Reward efficiency instead of volume. Even if his tone is dramatic, the message deserves attention, because at some point, more servers and more hardware won't save us from inefficient code. You can't scale physics forever, so maybe the real question isn't whether the collapse is coming, but whether we've already accepted mediocrity as normal. If you want to read Denis's full article, you'll find the link in the description. And if you enjoy thoughtful looks at where technology is heading, make sure to subscribe to TechFacts, because the tools are changing fast, but good engineering still matters.